I'm about to show you how we tripled the sales of one of our Amazon products overnight, and on one of our other Amazon products, cut the ACoS in half while growing sales exponentially using the mythical day parting. Ah yes, day parting. The mythical Amazon PPC hack that magically cuts the head off your ACoS, skyrockets sales, and explodes your profit magically with the click of a button. Okay, maybe not quite that extreme, but that's what you'd think if you read these blog articles and Reddit posts by people who aren't actually doing it. The reality of day parting is a lot more complex, but in this video, I'm gonna take you through a step-by-step guide of how to do it in the real world and how to get results from it. I'm also going to be giving you guys an exclusive resource, which is a completed day parting analysis so that you can follow the process in this video and compare yours to mine to see how it came out and just match my settings exactly. I'll tell you how to get that resource later on in the video. The reality is, day parting should not be the #1 thing on your list when it comes to Amazon PPC optimization. There are a lot of other fundamentals that you should have in place first. But since I know this is a very sexy topic, this is probably gonna get a lot of clicks, and I'm gonna walk you through how to do it properly. And even though I think day parting is overblown in our space, there is a way to make it work and make it increase your profits and increase your sales, as I'll be sharing with you in the examples from our own portfolio now. For those of you unfamiliar, day parting is when you make rule-based adjustments to your bids or budgets based on the time of day or week when your ads are likely to perform the best. The process I'm going to show you only takes a couple minutes to execute, and it leaves you with a very beautiful graph of hour by hour what's happening to your ad economics, so you can easily see what times of the day are losing you money and what times of the day are making you money, so that you can make bidding and budget rules that make sense and make you more profit. I'm going to show you a way to do this manually where you don't have to pay for any tools or software, and I'm also going to show you a way to do it in a more automated way that does use tools and software. This is the ultimate guide to day parting with Amazon PPC. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna log into Seller Central, go to our advertising console here, Campaign Manager, and then inside the ads console, we're gonna go to the left-hand bar, go down to Measurement and Reporting, and then click on Sponsored Ads Reports. Here you're gonna click Create Report, and this is where we're gonna find the data that we will then use to create our day parting rules. So inside this configuration, you're gonna select campaign under report type, and then hourly. It only allows you to do 2 weeks at a time, but you can go back up to a month. So what we have to do is we have to do 2 separate exports, one for the last 14 days, which I'll do now, and you can run report. Then you're gonna go run another report for the previous 14 days so that we can add them together. Remember to select hourly, and now I'm gonna do the previous 14 days and run that. Now we've got 2 reports. To see the reports, just go back into Sponsored Ad Reports and you will see the most recent reports that you created here. It'll take a while for them to load, but once they're ready, the little download icon will come up and you can download each one by one. Save this report on your desktop. And now what you're gonna do is go into Google Sheets and import both of these files. Start a new sheet, just sheets.google.com, start a new sheet, click File, Import, and then select the first file you exported, replace spreadsheet, detect automatically, leave this box checked, and click import data. Now scroll to the bottom here, and we're going to import again the second file. Instead of create new spreadsheet this time, we're going to say append to current sheet so that it just adds the data to the bottom. Say import data, and you'll see it populate down here at the bottom of the sheet. You just gotta make sure to delete this row with the headers because that'll fuck up the data. So we'll delete that row, and now we have all our data here, right? So the next step, and don't get scared when I say this, some of you guys who have never done pivot tables might be intimidated by this. The next step is to create a pivot table. Here I'm gonna shout out our boy Zoki inside Sophie Society, who spearheaded this method of visually being able to see how your products and your campaigns are doing hour by hour using this Sheets methodology. Nice work, Zoke. Then come back up here, select the first column. We're gonna click Insert, Pivot Table, Create, and you should see a screen that looks like this. Okay, this is where we're gonna get all the data and collect it the way we need so we could see hour by hour what's our performance. So first, in filters, we're gonna click Portfolio. So we're filtering by portfolio. This allows us to see only the product that we wanna see if we wanna do day parting for a particular product. Now for rows, you're gonna add start time so that we see hour by hour. Now we're gonna fill in the data that we wanna see hour by hour. So in values, here's where we're going to input the data that we want to see hour by hour. And we need to add impressions. We want to add values clicks. We'd like to add orders. So it's 7-day total orders is the way it appears. We want to add total sales marked as 7-day total sales. And we're going to add spend. And that's everything we want to see. Then just so we could see what each of these columns says, we highlight all of them, double click here, and it just resizes them. Okay, so we're off to a good start here, but this is not all the data that we need. What we really want to see is ACoS, and we're going to add these rows ourselves. Click-through rate, CTR, conversion rate, CVR, and cost per click, CPC. And these are just simple formulas. So for ACoS, we're going to say equals spend divided by sales, and you're going to copy that down all the way, so autofill. Then we're going to reformat this as a percentage by clicking this percent button. And now we have our ACoS hour by hour. Pretty cool, right? Now just wait, we're not even there yet. Click-through rate equals clicks divided by impressions. We are going to autofill that all the way down. And again, we want to format this as a percentage. Now we see our click-through rate hour by hour. This is getting pretty juicy, right? Then we're going to do conversion rate, which is equals orders divided by clicks. Copy that all the way down. Turn that into a percentage, and then cost per click, which equals your spend divided by your clicks. And we will copy that all the way down as well by double tapping here. And then this, we need to add some decimal points on here because it's rounding it. So we just click the whole row and go increase decimal point and click that twice so that we have 2 decimal points. There we go. I like to format this a little bit, just make it pretty, bold, pop it in the middle, add a little fancy little underline there. That's how it should look. Nice. Okay, so these are the numbers that we're interested in. Now this is cool, right? Now we can already pull some insights from this just by looking at it via our eye. Now I see some lower click-through rates here and I see some higher click-through rates up here, for example. But to make it very easy to see, one really cool and easy way to do this is select a column and then click Format, Conditional Formatting, and then go to Color Scale, and then click Color Scale and click this one, the one that goes red to white to green. And now it's going to say min value red, max value green. You want to swap that around. So min value, because that's what we're looking at ACoS here, right? So smaller is good. Max value we want to be red because bigger is bad. And now we can visually see what's good and bad. And now a pattern is really emerging, right? But let's not look at it until we got all of them. So click-through rate, we'll do the same thing with. Go to Format, Conditional Formatting. Then we're going to add rule, Color Scale, Preview, and we're going to select same thing. All right, so click-through rate, higher is good, right? So minimum value red, max value green, that's what we want. Because higher is good, lower is bad. Whereas ACoS is the opposite, higher is bad, lower is good. Now conversion rate, we're going to do Format again, Conditional Formatting, and then we're going to do Color Scale, red to green, and then again, conversion rate, red is minimum value, which is right because smaller is bad, bigger conversion rate is good. So max value green, done. Now we would do the same with CPC, but in this case, I think it would just confuse us because the CPCs I can tell are all the same. They're all like 1.7-ish all the way down. So I really don't want to do a color scale on that because it's going to just confuse me. Whereas these actually have differences in patterns. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is cool as fuck because now we can see a very clear pattern. Let's take a look. I'm just going to collapse some of these rows so that we can look at the pattern itself. Now we're looking at our midnight to 1 all the way to our 11 p.m. to midnight. So 24 hours, 24 rows here. And for each hour, what our data looks like. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, a clear pattern jumps out. This block right here performs really well from every perspective, from 4 a.m. to 12 noon. And that is from an ACoS perspective, we got all greens. A click-through rate perspective, all greens, and a conversion rate perspective, almost all greens. So this block from 3 to midnight does a lot worse than this block that's basically our morning block. Now, one possible reason for this is that this product is a skincare product that people are much more likely to use in their morning routine than in their evening routine. So they might be less likely to click, less likely to convert in the evening because of that. Your product might have a totally different pattern, and that's cool. The only way to find it out is to do this analysis, right? So now we've got our core insight. Our product tends to do good from 4 a.m. to around 1 p.m. and it tends to do worse from 3 p.m. to midnight. So what do we do as a result of that? That's where the day parting comes in. Now here's where I have to go back to Amazon Ad Console and show you the embarrassing excuse for a day parting tool that Amazon has given us. No hate, just gotta be real. Amazon's own day parting tool is very basic and really doesn't allow you to do most of the functionality that produces really good results. So go to your ads console, go to sponsored ads, campaign manager. Now you're gonna click on the campaign that you wanna do a budget rule for, click budget rules, click add budget rule, and here's Amazon's own little tool for us. So this is where you can decide to increase the budget for a period of the day like we saw in our little analysis that we know tends to perform better from a conversion rate perspective, a click-through rate perspective, and or an ACoS perspective or CPC perspective. To set this up, you have to select choose start time and end time. Select the start time that you want to increase the budget, and then the end time that you want to increase the budget. The problem is this allows you to do budget increases, but not bid increases. And it also is very basic in terms of it doesn't let you decrease the bid or decrease the budget. It literally is just a budget increase tool. Another way to do this is to just turn on and off the campaign throughout the day based on when the data says the campaign is likely to perform better or perform worse. But I wouldn't recommend this because it limits Amazon's ability to collect and utilize the data from the campaign. Regardless, we use the manual version of some of these strategies to triple the sales of one of our products that we were really struggling with and had tried everything else on. And day parting was kind of like a Hail Mary, like last resort option for us. And it worked really well. Take a look at this sales graph. We started day parting right here, right before the giant boost in sales, and it made a big impact. In this case, we used a combination of some of these manual methods and Amazon's budgeting rules to just de-emphasize the times of day and the times of week and days of week where the campaigns were performing worse, and emphasize the times of day and the days of week where the campaigns were performing best. And as you can see, it had a major impact on the product and allowed it to really take off. Now I'm gonna give you a caveat here. This is not always how it works. And a lot of times day parting doesn't work the way you would think it would work. Sometimes if you go too extreme with it, it can actually be counterproductive and actually hurt your performance. Now let's talk about the other more professional way to do day parting, which is using a software. Using software to execute automated day parting is how we were able to cut the ACoS of this product nearly in half. And you can see a very clear before and after here. The ACoS is very volatile and very high up until right here when we started the day parting. And after then, the ACoS flattens out and it's a nice, low, consistent, stable ACoS after that. At the same time, right when we started the day parting is right when our sales started to take off parabolically, and they just grew exponentially after that. So this is another big win for day parting. Now, how do you do day parting with software? Well, there's a number of different softwares that do this, including Adtomic, Perpetua. Our favorite is AdLabs. This is the software that we use for day parting, and we use it for a lot of other PPC functions as well. Now I'm gonna pass the mic over to my colleague at Sophie Society, Oliver, who's responsible for this win that I just shared with you guys for one of our brands. And he's gonna walk you through how to do day parting automatically using AdLabs as your day parting software.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to explain my day parting schedule because I've had some really good results and how I analyze the day parting. So first of all, I actually do the day parting within AdLabs itself. You just click the optimize button and then day parting. If you don't see this here, just type in /day parting. I have used the day parting within Amazon where you can up the bid across the hours using the hourly rules. But on AdLabs, you can actually decrease the bid as well. And so I think that's a big benefit. Before we actually adjust the rules, we need to do some analysis. And so just come here and click the calculator button, make a copy of that, and then it's going to open a document like this. To get the data to fill this in, you just come over to your campaign manager, click create report, select that to sponsor products, select report type to campaign, and then the time unit, select that to hourly. You're gonna have to do 2 exports, so one for the previous 14 days and then another one for the 14 days before that. Export both of them, it'll take 5 to 10 minutes to do, and then copy and paste them into the data column here. Copy one at the top and then go down a line and copy the rest in. And then it will take a few minutes, but all the formulas will work to calculate all the bid adjustments. The first tab here is your days of the week. So you can see here, Tuesdays and Saturdays are my worst performing days, or we've got high ACoS. I don't actually decrease or increase it an entire day because if you increase or decrease an entire day, your placement settings are going to change for the full day. And I think it's going to start affecting your organic ranks because obviously your click-through rate will be a lot lower. But I use this hour of day tab here quite a lot. And so here you can see my top performing hours. 4 o'clock does really well for me. And then 7 and 8 do really well for me as well. And then you can actually see my hours of 4 until 8. I've got a much higher ACOS here. And then as well, a much higher ACOS 1 and 2 a.m. There's this tab at the end called bid change rules. This is the calculations that AdLabs have done to adjust your bids. I've actually copied these columns in here, and I just get those from the hour of day, just the conversion rate, CPC and ACOS, and then clicks and orders. And then I just put the ACOS next to the bid adjustment here, just so I can look at it easily. And then I want the clicks and orders so I can see how valid the data is, if we have enough data to make a good decision. And then I just want to look at the conversion rate at CPCs as well, just to know. You can see the sort of data is kind of broken up into chunks here, like the 4-hour chunks, 8-hour, weekends and weekdays. I mainly look at the hour of day and do hour by hour analysis. I'll go through all of these columns and I'll basically highlight them using bright red, dim red, bright green or dim green, depending on how big of an increase it should be or decrease it should be. Bright red is a big decrease, light red is a small decrease, bright green is a big increase, and then light green is a smaller increase. So you can see here, 1 and 2 a.m., really high ACOS, and not too much data, but because of high ACOS, I'm going to do a big decrease in them. 3 and 4 a.m., I can actually make that to a bright green. You can see a big adjustment that it's recommending. Low ACOS, not too much data actually, especially when you're comparing it to these hours, but I think there's enough data to do a bigger increase. I don't use these exact bid adjustments to go up and down just because they're very dramatic. Like 270% is huge. And so usually I'll start off with between 15% increase and like a 60% increase, depending on what these numbers are saying. So you can see these numbers here between 9 and 1, they're all between 6% and 30%, around sort of 15% on average, I'd say. And so I've increased these by 15%. Then 3 and 4 o'clock, you can see these are bright green. And so I've actually increased these by 50%. And then 7 and 8, these are really good performing hours. And I've actually increased this by 60%. The reason why I've increased this by 60% is from our clicks, we're getting a lot more impressions at this time. And so I really want to push it harder. This time around here, we're not getting as many clicks and so less impressions. So I'm not pushing it quite as hard. And then I've just added these minus 70%, minus 22% and minus 20. We can actually upgrade this to a minus 30%. And you just highlight all the cells, tap in the number and then select save. When you create this, first of all, you click create new schedule and then it'll pop up an empty version of this, kind of like this. Make sure you select the campaigns, whether you're doing that per product or select all, and then select save. I've had some really good results with these, and so these are some of my best performers. So we took this brand on in January, and as you can see, the ACOS was varying quite a lot, like fluctuating day to day. We actually started day parting in February 13th. That was just using the calculator or the bid adjustment in Amazon campaign himself. And pretty much since then, it's been very stable at lower, which is really good. And our sales have increased and our spend has increased quite a lot as well. As I've sort of spoken to the client, he's allowed for a high spend now that we're getting a better ACOS. This brand here is a brand that I took on last month. And so you can see, 2 months ago, you can see the ACOS was varying quite a lot. And we actually started day parting on May 4th. And since we started day parting, we got a lot more consistent ACOS. Still some more optimizations to do to this, but I only optimize the day parting schedule usually once every 3 to 4 weeks, just because I want to have enough data to analyze to see if we need to change it. And when I do change my day parting schedule, I won't optimize the bids for that week, because if we're increasing the bids and then we're increasing the the multiplier for that hour. There might be over optimization and it might cause it to work even more, or it might stop it working, or you're not going to know what is causing the win. I have actually had one brand where this hasn't worked, and that is this brand here. So we took these on in mid-February and we increased the orders a lot. They ran out of stock here, but once they're back in stock, the sales increased a lot as well. We actually started day parting at the end of April, and you can see since the end of April we've actually had a decrease in our sales compared to where we were before. I've tried optimizing the day parting a few times. My next step for this day parting is I'm actually going to turn it off almost completely for the hours that we're not converting. So I'm going to do a decrease of 80% through the hours that we're not converting. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to stop day parting on this brand altogether, because for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be working. Thanks for listening, and let me know if you've got any questions.
There you have it, your ultimate guide, step by step, for how to do day parting with your Amazon PPC. I hope this helps you guys find more profit. Remember, this is not a silver bullet. It doesn't always work, but sometimes when it does work, it can work really well, and it can be the thing that makes the difference between profitable and unprofitable for certain brands. Just remember, try all of the other fundamentals first. Now, if you want to get that resource that I mentioned, which is simply my completed day parting analysis here that I shared with you in this video, so that you can compare it to yours, and if you mess up along the way, you can literally just match and copy my settings, just click the link in the description of this video and you can download it there. If you'd like to explore how my company, Sophie Society, can partner with you to take over your PPC and grow your brand profitably, click the other link in the description and go to my website, sophiesociety.com, where you can apply to see if you are qualified to become a Sophie Society PPC partner. And if you want to learn another hack that allows you to increase profitability by exploiting a loophole in the data Amazon made available to sellers without realizing it, click here to watch my video on how to exploit that loophole and increase your profits right now. See you over there.